Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to bring assets in from an external source. So we've already gone through importing stuff into your scene from the marketplace, and then we've seen how to migrate something from a current scene into your scene. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open up these files here, right? And we're going to bring in a little boss, our boss enemy, and put a material on it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to bring stuff in and then how to create a material at the same time. So first thing I'm going to do is right click and create a new folder, and I'll just call this boss. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab the model and all the textures, and I'm just going to drag them right in here. Now you have some options in here, whether you want it to be static, skeleton, all that kind of stuff. For right now, I'm just going to hit import, and it should import everything I want into here. No smoothing information, don't worry about that. Okay, so now we have our boss. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here. Let's see how big he is. Right in here. There he is. We've seen this guy before, right? So let's just turn this guy 90 degrees. Here we go. We got this guy in our map, in our scene now, right? So we need to get him a material. So luckily, he came with a material. Don't worry about any of this stuff here. For now, let's just bring this in. So here we go. We have this material here. And I'm going to double click it. And what that's going to bring up is our material editor. It's a little bit different than Unity's. It's a little bit more advanced, I would say. So they're using a node-based system. So what I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit about how to navigate in here. So if we right-click and hold it down, that lets us pan. That's how we're going to, and then that's how you move around. And your middle mouse lets you scroll. So that's really all you have to do because it's a 2D space. So let me see if I can't make this a little bit smaller. And push this over a little bit here. All right, so what I have in here is a bunch of textures. So I'm going to grab all these textures here. I'm just holding down Control. I'm going to take them and drag them right into here. Now, what we want to happen is we want these textures to go on here, but there's something a little different in Unreal than you have in Unity. So what Unreal does is it packs its maps in. So what ends up happening is you have two different maps that are going to be inside of your ambient occlusion here, right? I believe that's what this is. So it has ambient occlusion in there. We have our normal map right here, and then we have our diffuse right there. Oh, there it is. What do we got here? So this is our material here that's already in here. So that's our base color. I'm just going to delete that because we don't need it, because I'm going to take this guy and drop it right into our base like that. Now I'm going to take this and say apply, and it's going to apply it to my mesh. Just going to wait for it to update a little bit here. There it is. I'm going to hit save, and it's always good to save it. You don't have to save it in any little thing that you do, but you always want to save it afterwards, right? So I'm going to grab my normal map here, and I'm going to drag that to, let's see. Oh, I don't have a normal map on this one. Let me see what I'm doing here. There it is. Yes, I do. Drop it right into my normal map. We'll hit apply. Let it load up. Once that kicks in, there we go. Now we have some normal maps on there. And the last thing we want to do is we want to think about our ambient occlusion. This is really taking three maps and mixing it into one map. Okay, so when we think about, let me just zoom in a little bit here. And what we're going to see here is that we have a red channel, a green channel, and a blue channel. And these three maps are in each one of these channels. So for our red channel, we're going to have our metalness, I believe. Let's just make sure that it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Red is our AO. So we'll go down here and drop that into our ambient occlusion. And then we have our green and our blue. And the green is going to represent our roughness. So we'll go up here and drag that to roughness. And our blue is going to be our metallic. So red is our ambient occlusion. Green is our roughness, and blue is our metallic. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and see what happens there. There we go. So now we have some stuff going on. This guy, let's move him a little bit out of here so we can see what's up. Ooh, I didn't change my... I just got to change this very quickly. Advanced settings. I don't like my mouse. Invert middle mouse. There we go. Save as default. Yes. Okay. So there it is. We have all our maps on it. We'll go ahead and save it. Almost all our maps, right? So let's just move this over here. Bring that there. And then we have our normal map. And then we have our emissive. All right, which is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the RGB and drag that into the emissive. We'll hit apply. And we do have some glowy bits back there once this shows up. Cool. Now we have some little glowy bits in the back. So that's our emissive. It'll glow in the dark, which is kind of nice. So, cool. Now we have this guy in here. So we're done with this one. We can make another tab if we want to. I can hide it. And let's see. I'm going to create another material here in a second. Let's just right click and hit material. And I'm going to double click that. Now I have a new tab here. So what I'm going to do here is right click, and to get a color you hit vector and look for vector parameter. That's going to be our color. So I'm just going to go ahead and name that color base color. Base underscore color. All right, so now that I have a base color, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. You can see I have some parameters over here that I can play around with. If I want to change my color, there's how I do it. So I can give whatever I have some color, grab this top node and drop it right into the color. And once that updates, I can change that again as much as I want to. Let's bring it over here. It will change. There it is. And then I'm going to say save. And I can apply this to anything that I want. So if I come in here and I grab this and I say, well, let's see. Oh, almost anything I want. Let's grab there. So now that I have this in here, my apply is here. I can select anything I want and hit apply. Now, if for some crazy reason that you can't see the apply, it's already applied there, you can always grab this material and just drag it right onto an object if it doesn't apply. All right, so now I have all my blue stairs. And then what can happen is I can adjust this stuff anytime I want to give the material a little different look to it. So that's some of your materials. Quick way to make them. Typically, if you're using any kind of geometry that's already in here, there's already kind of stuff that you can use. You can grab textures and put them on anything that you want. So I could take a texture, bring it in here, and then say, well, let's see. I'm going to take my RGB and drag that in there. That'll replace it. Let's see what happens to I'm going to hit apply. So it'll apply this change to everything that I have in here. And we're just going to wait for that to happen. It should look pretty messed up, but that's okay. There we go. Now we have all these weird textures on that. And you can take these and just fill them in like you did the other one for it to match up. And you can play around with textures on different materials. Just understand that when something is unwrapped specifically to a texture, it may not work the way you think. Like these are all... let me move this over a little bit. Like these are very specific textures where these are not, right? This is just a straight, if I just took this texture and brought it in here and, oops. And I'm just gonna grab this RGB and, oh, I should tell you guys, if you grab this, whoops, grab this, this node here, you can drag it out. But we'll just grab this for now and bring it in here. And then we'll hit apply. And this texture being a little different from something that's very specific, like we look at this as very specifically unwrapped. And now that looks a little bit better, right? I mean, it's still a little off, but it still looks a little bit better because it's a tiling texture that can go on anything. And then you're just going to find that if there's anything that goes along with that, other maps that match it, your normal map, so forth and so on. So it'll get the right stuff. So, right, so I have this. It may not have one. I don't know if it is in here. I mean, I'm not, let's see. Let's see if it has something. I don't see anything in here that matches that. I could just do this, T underscore, whoop, underscore D. Nope, that's the only one that we have with it, right? So that's fine. But now you can see how that could be a little bit different. You can use whatever you can find texture-wise that works for what you want. You can do that. So you can also find texture packs inside of the in the marketplace that you can bring in and start really playing around with what you want it to look like. So, all right, that's what we have for really all you need to have for your materials and how to set them up.